Welcome to the Live with Soul call. This is the third call. We're just getting started. And what we're going to work on today is the very first step, which is connect with yourself, your true self, and your higher self. We have to give ourselves, we got to give ourselves space to know ourselves. And one way that I do this is to go out into nature and connect with nature and myself. It reminds me of my nature. Okay, I'll just mute you for now, Linda. Okay, so that's what we're going to work on today, and I'll take any of your questions and help you to live your most inspired life by making the difference that only you can make by being who you really are. That's what I want to encourage you to do, because you're actually most valuable to the world and the universe by being yourself. So it all starts with this step right here. First of all, how about I just ask both of you on the call what your favorite way to connect with your true self is, you know, in your experience. Linda?
The best way I can connect with myself is when I am really relaxed and not really stressed about anything. I try to make sure that things that are bothering me in a way, like paying bills or going to the tax lady or, you know, doing this or that I check them off my list, because then I'm more relaxed, and then I spend time inner-wise, inside, and I always love to ask my higher self questions because it always answers.
Okay, very good, thank you. And what you brought up there, I think points to a belief that you may have a limiting belief around money or finances, because both of the difficult things. I have some things like that too. Actually,
exactly.
Most of us probably do. But that's part of the journey that we're on, is releasing those things. So like I've written down that we have to let go of everything that is not our true self. We can ask, is that true? Is that my truth? I'll call on you, Judy, if it's cool with you.
Yes.
Oh yeah. So what is your favorite way or the best way for you to connect with yourself?
Probably my favorite way is through meditation. That's probably my favorite and probably best way. But then I also get healing work done. So that's also a nice way when I'm feeling out of sorts. I can go get that done.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I'll mute you again. Actually, you don't have background noise, so it's okay.
Well, we're loading up some.
Okay.
I'm doing a shipment out of CDs, so I will mute myself and then come back.
All right. Okay, so let's get started then. So how do we connect with our true self and our higher self? We've looked at being in nature, meditation, and it was meditation, wasn't it? Okay, so the most important thing that we have in life is our relationship with God within us, a personal relationship, like where we talk, you know, the way that we talk to a friend. We should talk to ourselves that same way too. We should encourage ourselves, talk positively. Positive self-talk is super important. And if we have negative self-talk, which we may not even be aware of in our head, then it's even more important to create positive self-talk patterns and habits. But talking to God is prayer, and listening to God is meditation. We've mentioned meditation. I'm going to bring up yoga too, because that's what I do quite often, and it gives me some great insights. Like I just did yoga for 3 minutes before this call, but yesterday I did yoga and for a couple minutes, and I had this great idea of to give something which I wanted to receive, right? Give, because if we want to receive something and maybe it's challenging for us, if we learn to give that, become a source of that to others, then we can't help but to also receive it ourselves, because we get what we are. So if you emanate a certain energy, that's what is also going to come back. And if you have a great relationship with God, the divine source within you, then you'll just shine, right? You will be very magnetic to people. They may not know why, but they will want to They will want what you've got. Yoga and meditation are also connected together. They connect, and I think if you do stretches, it helps you set up for a really good meditation. So we'll just say that for now on that. And to get back to your true self, let's let go of all the things that are not of our true self, and everything that is not truth, that is not love, not light, not beauty, inspiration, enthusiasm, which means the God within, and excitement. Excitement is the indication that what you're thinking about or doing is your true self. And let go of any limiting beliefs. And so how do we find limiting beliefs? They show up in our reality. So if we are in debt, if we've been in debt for a long time, then we have limiting beliefs about money, finances, or our own abundance, our own ability to create abundance and receive it. And another thing would be if relationships don't work for us, or they keep ending and they end painfully, then it's relationships, or codependent relationships. Another thing could be our health is not good, and it hasn't been good for quite a while, right? Then we have beliefs about our health and our body. So these are some of the biggest problems that people have, those three areas. And so if you look at your reality and your life, then you can identify limiting beliefs or a misalignment in your energy field, because the universe is just always showing you what you've got going on vibrationally. It loves you that much that you can choose. You're so free that you can choose bondage, as Abraham Hicks says, right? So look at your reality, and that will indicate what you believe deeply. And then with those beliefs, you can take out a sheet of paper, like I've got this ruled piece here. This is the outline of the notes. So that's the notes for today. But if you take out a blank piece of paper and then you draw a line down it vertically, and then on one side, what do I believe about money? And then why do I believe this? You write that on the other side. And so then you go through all of your beliefs, the things that you must believe about it, and why you believe that. Where did that come from? When did you start believing that? Go back to that story, that circumstance where we interpreted it a certain way, and we made a meaning out of it, and we made an assumption, right? And we believed it, and then we just continued to believe it from then on. And we can release those. We can say, is that true? And we can decide what kind of beliefs that we really want to have that are empowering for us. Like for example, this: God's wealth is circulating in my life. His wealth flows to me in avalanches of abundance. All my needs, desires, and goals are met instantaneously by infinite intelligence, for I'm one with God, and God is everything. This is an incantation or a proclamation which Tony Robbins created, or maybe adapted from somewhere. There's some really great stuff in some books that I've been looking at, like How to Prosper in Hard Times. But one of them really good ones would be The Game of Life and How to Play It. It talks about this, speaking the words of abundance or source to people, and of course for yourself. But she was helping her clients, right? So you'll see the actual words. I don't remember the other book right now. It was one that I started to listen to recently. Okay, there is a little bit more. Actually, that's all I've wrote for what we want to let go of. Anything that is not of our truth, love, light, beauty, inspiration, enthusiasm, excitement, and unlimitedness, right? Because anything that limits us is limiting us, so we can let go of it. Okay, so for everyone who is not driving or operating heavy machinery, and it would be good to be in a place where you will not be disturbed, we can do a little meditation, little imagining. Last time what we imagined was the perfect world for 1 minute. Let's just imagine your perfect life. you know, to the best of your ability, how you want your life to be. Let's each of us just imagine our perfect life for this next minute together. And then we can share afterwards if you like, but it's up to you and it's optional. It can be totally private. Okay, so we'll start the timer now. 1 minute of focusing on your perfect world, your perfect life, or your perfect day if you want to start there. Okay, welcome back. Thank you for doing that with me. So I think what I imagined was being at a beautiful tropical place like this and living in a house where I can look out the window. The view has this beautiful hill, right? It's all green, and then you can see the ocean. So it's like the view that I keep going up and seeing up at the volcano. And also playing with Tashama Kona on the beach. Who would like? Well, I'll just call on Linda because I can see you. So Linda, do you want to share about your perfect life or perfect day or whatever?
Well, my perfect day, that's what I imagine when you said that, so that's easier to break it down than a perfect life. It would take me longer to include everything, but I see myself in a house that's acceptable to me, one that's bright and airy and colorful. And I get up in the morning and stretch out and go get my coffee and go out and sit on my deck or near my pool or with a view of either a lake, some sort of water, lake or maybe the ocean. I don't know about that. But, you know, something beautiful to look at. So I love to watch the birds. So I can sit there and read the paper if I feel like it, or just meditate a little bit, pet my cat, just relax and plan my day. And my day would include, you know, some great meals, which I don't cook, by the way, because I have a nutritionist that comes and does my shopping and does my meal planning, and so, you know, I can eat perfectly. And so, you know, that's included throughout the day, but then as I go about my day, it's always about people. I love being around people and inspiring them, and that inspires me. So to go out and about and meet with friends, maybe, you know, just meet with them and go do something fun like the game of golf, of course, or any kind of fun stuff that I feel like doing, or going visiting places. I love to travel. And then in the evening, either being with friends again or family, and just really enjoying. And I can already feel it, like just being grateful for like this opportunity right here is the key. It's one of the keys. And so you have to be so grateful that we're here.
Absolutely. It's a pretty powerful exercise then. Once you imagine it and talk about it. And if you imagine it and you trick your subconscious mind, because you make it so real in your imagination. And I would do that by continuing to go back to it, continuing to reflect on it again and again. And also any of your uncertainties, because you only had a minute, right? So the uncertainties, you can then go and make them more specific. More specific is better. Clarity is power. So it's like having a really clear vision is going to help you. And oh yeah, keep aligning to it in your imagination and feeling it in your body. And once you do that more times, and then do an exercise where you speak about it as if it's already happened, right? Because feel it in your body so that you've actually already experienced it, because you create it internally, and then this helps you to get there a lot faster. And if we aren't able to do this, it can be very difficult to radically change our life. But if we can do this skill, then you'd be surprised how quickly the things can change.
Well, when I was thinking about it, that's why I was explaining, I could feel that joy, that relaxation, I guess, for the word of it, the gratefulness that everything is you. I mean, it's you. It's what you want. And, where I live right now is so opposite of that it's so important to go to what I do want. And I can see it, things are already changing toward that. It's amazing.
This would probably be a good time to share that quote. Do you have that quote from earlier?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
The quote is, everything is going to be more magnificent than anything I could possibly imagine.
Everything is going to be even more magnificent than I could possibly imagine. Something that. Oh, okay.
Than anything I could possibly imagine.
Okay.
Yep.
Something amazing and wonderful is happening right now. Those are good thoughts to think. So focus on that vision and being grateful for it, just like you did. So if you got into the feeling and it felt really good, you're doing it right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so.
Really good.
And so when we do the visualizing, then you want to stay in that same vibration all day as much as possible. That's very important. So find ways to do that. So look around for things that you like, just like Abraham Hicks says. My dominant intention today is to look for things I like, things like that, right? There's nothing more important than that I feel good. Because see, the way that you feel is broadcasting to the quantum field, and it's also foreshadowing what will happen next. It's the way we feel about things. So if you're always looking around for things you like, you can notice little hints that will get you there, or little breadcrumbs, right? Little paths you can follow. Notice the things that tug on your heart and follow them. Okay.
When my husband and I are driving in the car, this is an example of that, what you're saying. Like we'll be driving right now, we're driving to Syracuse, so I'll say to him, I go, so, in our life that we have created, what kind of car are we driving today? From your plethora of cars that you have in the garage out there. And he'll pick out a car, and so today it's the QS80. We'd be driving to Syracuse in that car because it's a little chilly out, which is the reason why. And, so we sit here, we're in our Toyota Prius, but we look out the window like it's QS80.
Absolutely. Perfect. Definitely be royal in your own life.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll check in on Judy if it's all right. Okay, she unmuted. Hi, Judy.
Hi. So my perfect day was interesting because I've got kind of a lot going on, so it's kind of hard to drop right into that. And I've been working a lot on clearing financial and abundance blocks and stuff. So one like floated in, and the funny thing is I just said, I release you and you're gone, and now I can't even remember what it was. And so,
Nice.
and so I was kind of more just accepting thoughts that came in to create the magic day. And one of the first things I was doing was I was checking my bank account, and it had 1.2 million in it. And so I was so excited because I was going to get to decide I was going to spend a portion of that to give it away. So I was really excited on the journey of who I get to help today. Well, who will God place in my path that I can be of service to today? What would that look like?
That's awesome.
So that's
Very
kind
good.
of what came. And then, of course, being grateful for this big order that I just got, and this living with trees and squirrels and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. But that was kind of the vision that came in, was opening, online, looking at my bank account and having 1.2 million. And it was like, yay, I get to give that away to, not the whole thing, but a portion of that is to be of service today.
Awesome.
So
That's great. How did it feel to see that balance?
that was really cool. I was like, whoa. And it wasn't, like I said, it wasn't really a conscious thought. It was more of a, okay, just show me what I need to know, God, kind of thing. And so it was like, oh, wow, that's a lot of money.
Oh, very cool. So you didn't do this before, and you didn't know what the number would be.
No, I just
Right.
said, because I was having a hard time gathering myself. So I just said, okay, God, show me what I need to know for this.
Okay, that's really good. Thank you for sharing that, because see, you've just added a lot of value for other people, right? Because now they know if they get stuck in visualizing, they can just ask for guidance like that.
Yeah. So I was very excited, because that would be fun to spend your day seeing exactly where you could be of service in whatever way. And it might not be money, but you'd have that resource if you needed it.
Absolutely. Yeah, and also see, if you have more than enough money, then you can do whatever you want with your time, and you can help more people. You can play and have fun and help people, and like I do most days.
Yes, exactly.
Some days I get dragged down because I do some work that I'm not passionate about, but most of the time I don't. So that's why I'm in a position to be able to help people like this, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Oh, and please tell me more about the squirrels, the trees and squirrels thing.
Oh, just where we live in Tennessee, we have some beautiful big trees, and all the baby squirrels are coming out, and I feed the birds on my back patio. So they keep coming up and eating, and the moms come. And Tennessee, we have lots of songbirds, where I was in Washington State for years, and our primary birds where I lived were crows and seagulls, and I love them, but they don't really sing a song. I mean, they talk to you, but they don't necessarily sing. And here we have lots of songbirds, so listening to the songbirds and watching the squirrels. And now they know my cat's here, so a couple of the baby squirrels will sit by the glass door waiting for my cat to come visit. So I find that peaceful and refreshing and connection to nature.
Very nice. I like it, and it makes me really happy when you talk about it. And I shot some videos today of the sunrise, and you can hear the bird song up there from the volcano.
Oh, cool.
Good times. Here's the sunrise video. Let's see here.
Oh, beautiful.
Can you hear them at all?
Yes, they're very light, but I can hear them.
Okay. Yeah, see, it's all about visualizing, right? So now I've been creating those videos by going up and filming the sunrise, and I think that's going to do some amazing things for people if they enjoy them, because they could play that in an office, and it would make it more peaceful in there with the ambient sound, don't you think?
Oh, absolutely.
Cool. I'm going to keep doing it and see what we can do with those.
There's a study that I don't know where it came from. I don't remember that much about it. One of my clients shared it with me, but they figured out that plants open up their pores to receive more light and water from the air. And what causes them to do that is the songbird singing.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that.
I know, isn't that cool though?
Yeah.
The scientists were trying to figure out why they do that more. They tend to do it, I guess, more in the mornings.
Yeah.
And they found it's when the songbirds sing that the plants relax and open up their pores to receive more.
Wow, that's so cool to know that. The roosters crow in the morning, all these birds are chirping up there because they know the sun's coming and they see it coming and they're waking up and all that. That's cool that it actually affects the leaves. There's vibrations from this, and they're sitting right in the trees too doing it. That's interesting. Oh yeah, I think Linda's raising her hand. Yeah, and I'll let you go ahead.
No, that's, I just wanted to share that because it's just kind of how we all work together, the plants and the birds and us humans and all that when we get out of our way.
Yeah, and everything is connected. Like for a real inspiring nature and sustainability talk, definitely listen to Everything is Connected, Here's How by Tom Chi. It was at Awesomeness Fest by Mind Valley. Definitely recommend it. It's super inspiring, and you'll see that we don't need to search for our purpose. Sometimes, because some very successful people have said, the searching for your purpose thing is a kind of a trap. It's kind of like the resistance, like avoiding doing our work, our actual meaningful work. So we don't want to fall into that. And like my purpose has evolved so many times as I went along, and I think that speaks to that. Right? Because I did do stuff, and because I was taking action and helping people, that helped it to evolve. Right? Just like how I only just started filming those sunrises a couple days ago. Now you tell me that too. But just because I started doing those, that could now create a whole nother purpose thing too, right?
Right.
And it's just a side purpose because we have multiple things, but like that just takes a little bit of time of my day, but it's really good for me too to be up there and to get up early and start my day on a good note like that. And with the bird song, of course, right?
Right. Cool.
Very cool. Thanks, Judy. So sometimes our purpose, well, that I guess we'll get into that in a future call, but I'll only just say this, referring to that talk, Everything is Connected, Here's How, with Tom Chi. So sometimes our purpose doesn't appear to be relevant, it doesn't appear to be significant, or we just can't see it. But just like the blue-green algae that created the atmosphere, very, very slowly, over 3 billion years, there's a whole bunch of little guys, right? So they didn't know really what they were doing. Their life could have seemed meaningless to them, but they laid the foundation for all life as we know it that we see now. So you can see that there's like a greater purpose on a larger time scale. So the same thing for us. There could be an infinite number of purposes to what we're doing in our life that we're not aware of, but we're playing out roles. And so we should just do our best each day. Just live your greatest life, live your most inspired life. Oh yeah, like you said, Judy, that if you have abundance, then you're able to help people in the ways that are joyful and exciting to you, right? And that, well, you're on mute, but that exactly, basically, right? And that's what I want to do too. And so I like to help people to do that thing. That's why we created the Do What You Love calls, right? Do what you love and make a great living at it. And so that's why I wanted to encourage people. You don't really need to keep trying to find your purpose. Look for how can you help people? What are you good at? What do you love to do, right? What are skills that you have and that you enjoy doing? And then look for if there's problems out there in the world that you can solve, and just start to help people in that way, and then let it evolve. Do a lot of experimentation. Okay. That's for people starting when they're like, I don't know what my purpose is, because maybe you'll never know, and it doesn't matter anyway. You will be on purpose if you're living with joy, if you're enjoying the experience. Oh yeah, I want to go back to what Linda said. She connects with herself when she's relaxed and enjoying herself. This is what we should do. We should take care of ourselves. We should, like I one time wasn't feeling great, but I needed to get like rehydrated or whatever. And I was gonna get a coconut, but instead I got watermelon. And then I ate the watermelon on the beach. And I didn't feel like guilty or anything about feeling good, right? Because sometimes we do that. So, but I was very aware of it. and I sat down near the water on the sand, right, and started eating the watermelon. I was very conscious about it and very grateful, and like I feel the warm sand and the water, and the watermelon tastes so good, right? You get so in the moment and feeling it and being and appreciating it, and with appreciation or gratitude, your vibration just goes up really, really high. So then you get in connection with your true self. And then basically, so I was taking great care of myself. I was relaxing and enjoying life. I let go of any thoughts or worries I had before that, right? And I'm just enjoying the watermelon. This is the thing, this is the kind of stuff that I'm supposed to talk about and share with people, because then you get into a receptive mode, and then it's like connection with intuition, new knowledge, downloads, wisdom, all this stuff starts coming. And then I was receiving it and being grateful. And I continued on and did my like lying on the beach in the sun thing, and or yoga, or like swimming and bodyboarding. And I had more and more great information. And then eventually I went home and wrote it down. So then that content becomes new trainings to help people. What do you think about that, Linda?
I think that's amazing. I'm living that right now, actually, what you're talking about.
Well, please do share then.
Higher vibration. My husband and I have been practicing that, and in the past 5 weeks, he lost his job, and I was seriously ill, but you know what? We were just talking about it today. It just hardly impacted us at all. Like, it didn't shove us off the path. It didn't, change anything. Nobody's getting depressed. We're just knowing that those things were taken care of for us. And we just keep going forward, and just inspires, even me, like, it's inspired before. I'm like, my goodness, like, once you get a foothold and it becomes a daily thing, you hardly, after you work it enough, you become strong in that faith or that belief or whatever, and then it starts serving you. It starts giving you what you wanted in the first place and what you deserve. My doctor, I shared this with you, I'll tell Judy, like, my doctor told me that people that come into the hospital in the condition I was in usually don't recover that quickly, and they usually have some sort of damage. And I didn't have any damage, and I'm recovering. It's been 1 week since I've been home from the hospital, and I feel better than I have in a long time. And that's all from what you're talking about, Evan.
You sound like you're super grateful to be alive. Is that true?
Very much so. Very much so. And it just makes the sky bluer. Today when I babysat my grandkids, I just want to just squeeze them extra tight. I don't know. My son this morning, I just, the hug was more than, and I'm a hugger, but the hug was very great.
This is great, because see, now you're really feeling alive, right? You're feeling alive because you almost died. You didn't know that was going to happen, but now, so it's like when I had near-death experiences, then when I came back, well, no, it's not like I died or anything like that. I'm just saying I was close to getting killed. There's dangerous experiences, right? So, but then I realized, well, I felt like, well, I'm here for a reason then, right? I must still be here for a reason, because some people could have gotten killed in these experiences. So I was very lucky or blessed, or angels were there to protect me or something. And so then I'm like, well, then what is the purpose of my life? Why am I still here? Like, what should I share? And so because you're still here and you're feeling more alive and more fully experiencing deeply the connection with people, like, because it's so precious. But see, now your message is more impactful than ever before. Like, now it's even more heartfelt than before, and I think it's really powerful.
Yeah, and it makes me unafraid. I just have to do what I'm gonna do. I-81 northbound. And not worry about it. Like, I don't know why I'm worried about it in the first place. Because you're right, I have a message, And I'm just going to speak like I was telling you earlier on the earlier call. You know, every day there's a messenger. If I say, what's on my heart today, I'm just going to start sharing what's on my heart and see where it goes.
Yeah, I encourage you to do that, absolutely. Yeah, every day, share it.
Yeah, keep that.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, and then I have another idea too, but Sam.
Okay, I don't think I can hear you now.
You can't hear me now?
Oh no, I can. I missed that last sentence. That's okay.
You know, I just said I don't want to get off point.
Okay.
So I was getting ready to go off on a bunny trail.
Okay, yeah, sounds good.
I just have to let you know, I'm going to have to leave the call right now. I'm
Okay.
starting. We're arriving at the highway.
Okay. Yeah, well, what we did was very good. Thank you for being here. It happened for a reason. I'm excited about what's going to happen next.
Right.
All right.
Okay, well, I'll say goodbye. Bye, Judy.
Okay.
Bye, Linda. Have a good week.
Mm-hmm.
I will, and I'll see you guys next week.
All right. See you later, Linda.
Bye-bye.
Mm-hmm.
Exit the highway.
Okay. So Judy, yeah, so now it's just us. Is this still a good time for you to do this call right now?
Yeah, I have a few. I can hang out till about 2:30 or so.
Okay. And oh yeah, and so it normally ends in about 18 minutes from now.
Perfect.
Okay, cool. Okay, let's continue. I think there may be some more good stuff to share. Okay, well, in connecting with our true self, it should be the other way around here. For some reason, it's this way. Anyway, we are exactly what we are. I am that I am, right? Sri Ramana Maharshi said that I am this or I am that, you know, like I am this cup or I am a surveyor or I am a coach or something like that. I am this or I am that is not true, but I am is true. I am that I am. We define ourselves. We were created to create. And we were created to experience deep joy and expansion, you know, to experience things fully, just like Linda was talking about, and, you know, and what she's experiencing. When we almost die, then we truly feel alive. And it doesn't need to take almost dying to feel alive. We can all feel alive. That's just one of the things that has tended to happen for people. What else makes us feel alive? I think it's following our excitement. We have to play. We have to follow our curiosity. Use humor. Don't be too serious. Don't take things too seriously. The angels fly because they don't take themselves. It's because they take themselves so lightly. Being able to laugh at yourself is a high spiritual practice, and laughter is a universal language as well. It can help us connect with each other. Like if you make eye contact with someone, say you don't have the same language, right? But you make eye contact and you smile, all of these things, like we can connect with the person. And if we laugh, same thing. So humor is very important. And it's important even if we have the same language too. It can help us really succeed in business too. I've been learning some great stuff from John Bouchan, and actually I'm really excited to jump into a class that he's creating. You see, what he has done is he has a creative marketing agency, and one time he used to get his leads given to him, and then at some point the leads dried up, and so he would have to do it himself. And one night he got drunk and he sent a really silly email or emails. In the morning when he looked at it, he still thought it was a good idea to send it, and he sent more of them, and he got very positive responses from people. So he's gone, and what he was able to do was meet with people who he was able to meet with top brands around the world, which is really cool. So now he says, I am the best at getting the attention of busy people. So this is really cool. I discovered him in a podcast episode on The Sales Evangelist. I think it was 556, called The Secret to Getting Response with Unconventional Email and Direct Mail. And so he does some really cool things, and he's got honesty in there, totally standing out from all the other emails people get. You know, it's a pattern interrupt because it's not like whatever other people are sending. It's something completely different. It's honest, and it is, and also humorous, clever, and short. But there's a bit more to it than that. But that's kind of the gist of it, of why it stands out, right? And so he gets positive responses, and he gets meetings with people, and he's now been teaching that to other people, and they're like one person said, it's working really well. I've had to stop sending out the emails. I can't take any more meetings. But it's working really well. People are being able to generate business with it. So that's awesome to see, because busy people get a lot of email or mail, right? And then they can't look at it all. But if you really stand out, so you might want to check that out if you want to like do prospecting or cold outreach and to certain people or businesses that you could work with, then I would listen to that podcast episode.
I'm sorry, I got the episode number, the 556, but what was the name of the podcast again?
The Sales Evangelist.
Thank you.
Okay. Oh yeah, that is the right episode number, 556. Okay. So yeah, I'm excited because I'm going to go into his class. He's now teaching a class to entrepreneurs, so this is going to be really cool to learn that, because I love to connect with people. So I'm going to apply this. I'm going to start to use some things I learned from him too, and I'd like to be more humorous too. So I'm going to do that. So that's an example of following our curiosity, because I'm curious about what he's doing, really curious. And he's good at selling what he's doing using curiosity for sure, or raising curiosity. But he definitely teaches it. He really does teach it in that podcast. It's just that we'll get examples, and he'll teach it in more depth and answer our questions and all that kind of stuff, right? So following your curiosity, but like be very aware. Keep your heart and your eyes open and mind for things that tug on your heart, and follow them. Right? Follow your curiosity and learn things that you're curious and really interested in. So keep self-educating. If you stop learning, you stop leading. Or that's what John Maxwell said. If I stop learning, I stop leading. As we continue learning and learning over time, like day by day, we're adding to our knowledge, and we're adding to our value that we're able to give to our clients or our subscribers, anybody, right? Or to the people around us. So because we have more of that value to give, like that's the reason that people work with us, is like we're cutting edge, right? Because you're always getting better at what you do in whatever your field is. So you're learning from different sources, but then you're assimilating it into your own framework. And so that's why it's important when people like build a business or a movement. It's something they're really passionate about. They really care about it. It's something that they love to do, and it's they're curious about it. It's something they keep learning about. So we don't want to pick something in some contrived way. Sometimes people build online businesses to make money. So then they're not, if they're doing it for the money, it's very unlikely to really work, because unless you want to live out of alignment, right? But this call is all about living with soul. So that's why I give those like guidelines and advice, because it helps you to totally live in alignment, and you'll feel really good about what you do. Is this stuff making sense, Judy?
It is making a lot of sense.
Okay, is it actually valuable to you and relevant?
Yes. Yeah, it's like connecting authentically with people, and the more we do that, I think the more our businesses will grow and build. Plus, we'll be excited about our businesses because it's really what we want to do and what we want to serve. When I have in the past tried to do it just to make money, and that never really works out very well for me. Because I'm not. Money's interesting because it's an energy exchange to keep me alive on this planet, and that's what we use here. But I'm not really big on money per se.
If we just do something for the money, I heard that it's a low self-esteem thing to do. because we can choose something that brings us joy in the moment. We enjoy doing it, right? Like everyone makes money, but like how you do it is up to you, right? So we might as well enjoy it. And I have friends, and actually I sold out my health for money, and now I'm transitioning away from that. So like doing things like this, right? Is exactly that, is not selling my health for money. It's doing what I'm passionate about instead. Yes. Which is good, because otherwise you just kind of like die inside. Like I was working on something yesterday that I didn't really care too much about. And so then I was feeling like really, I was almost falling asleep, just getting so bored with it. And so that's, you know, if I had to do that 8 hours a day, then I would be really depressed probably, because I wouldn't have much time to do or energy to do what I really want to do. So I'm glad that I've changed my life and made it really awesome with adventures. And you can do that too. Judy, what is, I think also, I was going to say this before, there was something Linda shared when, I think it's when she was talking about her vision of her perfect day, and then visualizing it and talking about it, and how she was saying, I'm really feeling it. And she was saying she was doing stuff like this and feeling grateful, and that she's really getting into the flow and things are like going easier for her. I think what she said there, I think is really helpful for you, because you were talking about that challenge you brought up on the first call. Does that make sense?
Yes. Uh-huh.
Okay.
Definitely.
I had more thoughts on that actually too. Do you want to hear those? They're specifically to it, because I know what I gave you on the second call. Wait a second. You weren't there on the second call.
No, I was.
You were?
Yep, you gave me a big list of some things that really made a lot of sense and were very helpful.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah, I gave you a ton of content in a short period. I remember, because I had so much on notes and I like read it out. Okay. So what I've done now is condensed it. Instead of giving you a whole bunch, there's just 2 things. So would you like to hear what the 2 things are? I think they're the most important things. Okay. Yes. Cool. So this applies for everyone as well. If you're experiencing being too busy or overwhelmed, or there's always something to do that's like pulling you away from what you really want, then here's what's probably going on. You're thinking too much about what you have to do, and you're living from a long to-do list. You're putting too much pressure on yourself to get it all done. Does that sound true to you, for you, Judy?
Yes, I always have a long to-do list.
Okay, so we pinpointed one thing right there. Do you also look at your email? Do you ever think in the morning, oh, I wonder how many emails that I have to deal with today, or in any way, like social media or some communication thing? Do you have that?
Not really. I get a ton of emails from people I'm following, so I don't actually have to read them, but most of my clients, I usually run into them or we text back and forth. It's not a huge, there's days I have a lot and days I don't, so it's kind of up and down. So I guess it doesn't bother me that much.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. It's good to touch on this point, because for some people it's a big challenge.
Yeah.
If they look at that email thing, they could be thinking, oh, I've got tons, and they always have tons, and that's another one of their like to-do lists, but it's overwhelming. Okay, so thank you. So yeah, definitely the to-do list thing. So here's what to do. First of all, I'll just encourage you for a second. So at least see it's your own to-do list, so it's your own priorities, but you may put too many priorities on there. Priority originally started out as not plural, but just one word, priority. I mean singular, meaning one thing. There's a great book called The One Thing, which may help you simplify your life. And it's helped a lot of people. When you identify what is the one thing that will move the needle the most in your business, what's the one thing in your relationship, what's the one thing at work or at home. Does that make sense?
It does. Okay,
so there's a question in that book called like their focusing question. So what is the one thing I can do today that will make everything else easier or unnecessary? How do you like that question?
I like it.
All right. They call it the focusing question. I'll just say it again for you and the recording. What is the one thing I can do today that will make everything else easier or unnecessary? So we can use this to prioritize, to come up with what's most important. And in your business, you could ask a question like this too. What is the one thing that one single most important thing that I will do in my business this entire year? And what would happen if I just did that one thing today? And then what if you were to do that every day? Or at least a few times a week, because you may have to get other things done too. So figuring out what the most important thing is and then time blocking it and not allowing anything else to happen in that time, just doing that one thing, you'll have like great focus, and you'll be working on the most important thing, which will change your life and allow you with more freedom in the future because of it. And so there's a lot of leverage in that, and it will also bring you peace, because you'll be less scattered if you have to do lots of things. And if you do this and then you allow the smaller things that are less important, but probably maybe they still needs to be done that day, you can kind of crunch them into a shorter period of time later in the day, if that's possible. Usually you can do that, and you'll be able to do it more productively. How does that sound?
Yeah, that sounds good.
So you see, at the beginning of the day, you probably have more focus, and so you want to use that for a more valuable thing that will have a bigger return, something really important. And when you do the little things here and there, then your attention can get diffuse, and then you can be drained of energy. So those things can be done when you're more tired later. Oh yeah, you had something to say.
Well, I guess partly as I'm a new business moving online, and right now cash is important. So I find myself doing the things that kind of don't necessarily lead to my future business, but they bring income in right now.
Okay.
And so that's kind of like today it was not on my plan, and I'm very grateful for it. But the school that I teach for contacted me, and they need 50 CDs right now, and then they need 100 more. And so while yes, I'm very excited about that, and I'm really because we move all the time, it took me forever to find all the CDs and all of that. So it's taken a good portion of the morning to sort through that. Which wasn't really on the to-do list kind of thing. So it's like those side things that you're grateful for and you're really excited, but they kind of take the time that was going to be for the other. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So with that order, you made money, right?
Yes.
That's what you're getting at, right? Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Awesome. I get what you're saying.
It still doesn't get the website built.
Yeah. Sometimes we got to get other people to help us with other things that aren't our forte, or that take longer for us to do, right? Because we can focus on what we do best.
Right.
Okay, I'll just continue with the tip, because if we have that long to-do list, I gave you the one thing that wasn't in the notes, but it totally applies to that. So yes. I still have these two things here. So the first thing, here's what to do instead of focusing on or living from a long to-do list. First, get clear on what you really want and how it would feel. So it's an imagination thing. You can do that when you get up earlier in the morning, and also just right before you go to bed, imagine your perfect life. Because over time, as you keep revisiting it, it gets clearer and clearer, and you can write it down, right? And keep revisiting that and revising it. It's pretty powerful to imagine it first thing in the morning and just before you go to sleep. And so now when you wake up, do this habit. Think about the life that you really want and why you want it. Imagine living that life now. Imagine you're living that ideal life right now. How does it feel? Revel in the feeling. What we imagine is what our life becomes. Consistent, because imagination is the preview of life's coming attractions, right? Like Einstein said. Consistently focus on your vision and pretend as often as possible that your vision is the current reality that you're living. Practice seeing everything in your life that happens as perfect and seeing it go the way that you want it to. Like when you look back on it, see that it went the way you wanted it to when you look into your memory, but also as it's happening, you can kind of imagine it to be the way you want it to be. Like if a person is missing a quality that you want them to have, then just try imagining seeing that they have that quality anyway, because your imagination will get stronger and stronger as you practice these things here. Because remember, you were telling me you wanted that things were pulling away from the life you really wanted. That's why you have to be clear about what life you really want and just keep honing that and making it more and more clear. And also what we're saying here with the imagination. Okay, so it's seeing it the way you want it to. So, so I'm saying that you choose and you create the meaning of everything that happens in your life. Whatever happens, we can choose and create meaning about it. And then number 2, do what you love. Play. Like make sure you make like time to play every day. And this like when you get overwhelmed, then you can take a break and play. Do something that you enjoy, and it might be like drawing or something. It could be anything. Because then you'll get into a flow state, and then everything will just flow easier. Like all the weight of the world goes off your shoulders, right? We're no longer stressed, and we can get excited about doing something again. So I think that's really important. You'll get out of scarcity, which is any negative emotions. You get into abundance, which is like joy, well-being, wholeness, wealth, truth, love, peace, freedom, knowing, trusting the universe and yourself, empowerment, inspiration, wisdom, intuition, being tapped in, excited, enthusiastic. Enthusiasm means the God within, and nothing great was ever accomplished without enthusiasm. So that's why we started with the most important thing is our relationship with the divine within us. Passionate. This is all about abundance, right? Feeling passionate and the feeling of being alive. Okay, cool. Was that useful to you?
Yes. Yeah. No, that was great.
Okay. I hope that was more useful than what I shared last time. This was more focused on just two really important things.
Yeah, I like that because I thought the other list was great and there was a lot of really good things on there. But in general, I think it's easier to implement 2 things rather than the long list. I just picked a couple.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. The long list is more for like, it would take a long time to implement all those things. So that would be like, so just when we look at it as like content and like making our own trainings and online courses and stuff, then that would be like the outline of a course that would go for many weeks, right?
Right, exactly.
So I just wanted to point that out to show you that it's pretty easy to outline things when you get into a flow and like you really care about the person and want to help them. I had all those ideas and I noted them down as I was preparing for that next call, just to help you. And then as you can see, you can outline all kinds of training that you could do over time. Right.
No, that's awesome. Thank you.
All right. I think something that's pretty powerful is a quote by Bashar. Oh yeah, we went over that time. Is that that time that you mentioned for your limit too?
Yeah, I need to get going, but I'd love to hear the quote. So.
Oh yeah. Well, no, this thing is very long. We'll just link to it and you can listen to it on your own.
Okay.
Yeah, everyone can just listen. That quote, it's like 4 or 5 minutes. It was a very profound speech. So I'm just going to link you to it.
Nice. Thanks.
All right. Awesome. There might be something else. There's a little bit here. So in the beginning of a book on miracles, on creating miracles in your life, I forget the author right now, but I'm going to put this one in the notes too. I'll just put a star beside it. And it has an amazing quote at the beginning. So if you listen to the first few minutes of that book, then you'll hear it. So we'll just put that in as a second thing because this aligns us with our true self. It's really powerful. And because you say some things, you're aligning with real truth. And you can say like, and what I am is beautiful. It was talking about like who we really are, right? It's cool. There's also this one. I know who I am. I know what I am. I know how I serve. So that's I know who I am. I know what I am. I know how I serve. This comes from the word. What was it? I Am the Word, and also the Book of Knowing and Worth. Those are two books by Paul Selig, channeled by his guides. He channeled them. And it has a deep meaning to it. And we can say it to other people too. I know who you are. I know what you are. I know how you serve. The thing about the serving is our vibration. I know how I serve is like the vibration that I give off. How you serve is your vibration. So that's pretty interesting, isn't it? Like that, does that mean that we are more valuable to the universe when we are in the higher vibrations, like joy and appreciation? I think that's what it means. And the reason is because the emotion is the indication of how aligned you are with your true self, with your higher self, right? And that's such a key thing to this. So being aware of our emotions is very important. And that's what shows us if we're being ourself or not. Living from the soul is not just like living from the heart or from the head. The soul is your spirit. I really like what Alexei Panos says about that. She explained it really well. So that was something that I wanted to bring as a quote, but I have not prepared it. So we'll have to look at it later. It's something I can put into the notes. So I'll have to actually come back to this recording to do my preparation for the notes. So that's almost it. Imagine your best self.
What was Paul's last name for that book?
Selig, Selig, I believe.
Thank you.
Okay, cool. Imagine your best self. Imagine yourself being your best self. Self-image is very powerful. We can't really act in a way that is inconsistent with the way we see ourselves, our self-image. So it's really powerful. So we were imagining our perfect life. Well, think about who you have to be in that life too. Like how are you serving, right? Who are you being? How are you being? How are you showing up? See yourself as your greatest self. When you review what you did today, then also multiply it like 10 or 100 times. So whatever you did and whatever results that you received, multiply that stuff higher. So like if you were on I was on like a interview, Facebook Live interview, and it got a few hundred views. So then I could multiply that and say, and so when I look back on my day and then I do some imagining, I multiply it. And I've done this. I then imagine I was on the Entrepreneur on Fire podcast, and then 3,000 new people signed up on my list. You see what I'm doing? So where I'm going with that. So that's an exercise. I think I may have made this up. So it's like you look at your day and then multiply it and imagine that was the day you just had. And it's like we do this each day. It says in The Greatest Salesman in the World, today I will multiply my value 100 times, right? And that's one of the chapters is to read that out. Like that's what it talks about in one of the scrolls. So then I made up that exercise to imagine your best self. So you just keep multiplying. And so you're seeing yourself with more success. Like focus on the success. Surround yourself with whatever success you want, like the people who inspire you. Remember the exercise from the very first call, when we're getting those 8 people around us, that inner circle that we are choosing very deliberately. Well, exactly that, right? Imagine your best self, like as you're becoming that, I think.
Perfect.
Okay, cool. I think we'll leave it at that. I basically had a few other useful resources that you can use, so I'll just include those as links when I send this out as a recording.
Great.
Okay, cool. Because I don't want to take any more of your time, and we went over, but I think that there's some really great stuff that we can use and look forward to collaborating further.
Yes, I agree. I really enjoy this.
Thank you, Judy.
And all you give a lot in the in this video series. So I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Well, what was your favorite part of today, if you got a moment?
Well, I really enjoyed what you just shared about I know who I am, I know what I am. I know how to serve.
I know
And
how I serve.
yeah,
Mhm.
I know
Yes.
how I serve. Yeah.
Thank you.
So I really enjoyed that part.
Mhm.
And I really enjoy your perfect, how you start the series with imagine your perfect life. I think we don't do enough of that in life. So helping
Okay.
us connect to that like you do in the beginning really just kind of helps us raise our vibration. So then it's easier to look at maybe areas that we have a little bit of blocks in and stuff because we're looking at it from the upward. We're looking down at it and it's easier to see when you have perspective, you know, or a little bit further away from it.
Okay, that's great. Thank you. Is that everything?
I think that's everything right now. Yeah.
Okay. So here's Paul Selig, like so you can see his name on a book.
Okay.
That's another book, right? But I have 3 of his books that I bought, and so that's one of them.
Okay.
The other 2 are the other 2 books, which I think may have come before it. I don't remember the exact order that they came out.
Okay. Great.
The 2 I mentioned were the other 2.
Okay.
And probably I Am the Word is probably the first book. And the other one was the Book of Knowing and Worth, which was really amazing for me. I loved it. Got a lot from it. So
Oh, good.
there's a great energy in the words, right? It's like there's an energy in the message. And so when you're reading the words, they're like, we're singing this song for you so that, and you're going to learn the words. Like they're like, there's a lot of energy and love that they have for us, right? And then like you're getting it as you're reading the book. It's really cool.
Sounds very cool.
Intention, like here it says, I am word through my knowing of myself as protected in my work in frequency. Word, I am word through this intention. Word, I am word. The first book was called I Am the Word.
Right.
It's really cool. So intention, that reminded me. So what you said with the visualization, imagination thing, and there's an intention that somebody did on a podcast. So I'd actually like to use it too. And that's another thing that can be brought in like in these calls to make them even better is like making an intention and saying that at the beginning, and then we do a visualization.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
All right.
I use that in my work too.
Okay, thank you. I look forward to collaborating with you too with the sound or any words that you want to share.
Okay, cool. Yeah, it'll take just a little bit to try and figure it out.
Okay. To get the sound thing working, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
Alrighty.
Okay, well, see you later. Thanks so much for being here today.
All right, thank you. Have a great week.
You too. You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.